The metallic tang of ozone clung to the air, a sterile, unsettling perfume. Brenda awoke with a gasp, her head throbbing with a dull, persistent ache. The carriage around her was bathed in the sickly fluorescent glow of the subway lights, a claustrophobic box of polished steel and warm velvet seats. It was utterly, disconcertingly empty. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced through the fog in her head. Where was she? How had she gotten here? Her memory was a fractured mosaic, shards of images and sensations refusing to coalesce into a coherent narrative. A crowded street, the scent of rain-slicked pavement, the murmur of voices, then a void. A yawning chasm where her recent past should have been. She sat up, her limbs stiff, protesting. Her clothes, a tailored charcoal grey suit, impeccably clean, felt unfamiliar, as if borrowed rather than worn. A delicate silver necklace, a stylized raven in flight, rested against her collarbone. She didn't recognize it either. The train was moving. A slow, rhythmic rumble vibrated through the floor, a relentless pulse that amplified her growing unease. She peered out the window, but the blurred streaks of darkness offered no clues. This wasn't a familiar route. The architecture glimpsed in the fleeting moments of illumination was alien, stark, and vaguely oppressive.
Hello?
She called out, her voice a fragile tremor in the echoing silence. Only the relentless hum of the train answered. She stumbled to her feet, her heels clicking sharply against the polished floor. The carriage was long, the seats arranged in neat rows, each a silent observer to her burgeoning terror. She checked her pockets, a sleek black leather wallet containing a driver's license identifying her as Brenda Vance, a name that felt both familiar and profoundly distant. There was also a credit card, a key card, a small, antique silver locket. Again, she didn't recognize them. A small screen embedded in the wall near the carriage door displayed a grainy black and white feed from the train's security camera. Driven by the desperate need for answer, she approached it. The footage showed her, slumped against a seat, just as she remembered waking up. Then a sequence she hadn't experienced. She was talking, animatedly, even gesturing with her hands, her face a mask of intense conversation. But there was no one there. The carriage was empty. Brenda's breath hitched. She replayed the footage, her heart hammering against her ribs. The phantom interlocutor was indistinct, a blurry shape in the shadows, but she could hear her own voice, laced with urgency and palpable fear.
I can't let them. You have to understand. The key, it's hidden.
The image froze. Brenda stared, her mind reeling. Who was she talking to? What key? And who were they? A wave of nausea washed over her, and she leaned against the wall, struggling to maintain her composure. This wasn't just amnesia, it was something far more sinister. Someone was manipulating her, feeding her fabricated memories, or worse, staging a bizarre, elaborate hoax. She tried the door handle, locked. She pressed the emergency button. A crackling voice, distorted and impersonal, responded. This is Central Control. How can I assist you?
I. I don't know where I am. The train isn't stopping. I need to get off.
Please state your location and reason for distress.
I'm on a subway train. I don't know the route. I'm alone. I'm experiencing memory loss. I need help.
Please remain calm. We are attempting to ascertain your location. Please wait for further instructions. The line went dead. Brenda felt a fresh surge of panic. The impersonal detachment of the voice only amplified her isolation. She was trapped, adrift in a subterranean labyrinth, with no memory of how she got there, and no guarantee of rescue. She examined the silver locket she had found in her pocket. It was intricately carved with swirling patterns, and felt strangely warm to the touch. With trembling fingers, she opened it. Inside, nestled against velvet, was a miniature portrait of a man, with piercing blue eyes and a melancholic expression. He looked vaguely familiar, a ghost of a memory struggling to surface. Suddenly the train lurched violently, throwing her against the wall. The lights flickered, plunging the carriage into darkness. A low, guttural hum resonated through the metal that seemed to vibrate in her very bones. When the lights returned, the screen displaying the security footage was different. It showed her not talking to an empty space, but to a figure standing directly in front of her. The figure was shrouded in shadow, their features obscured, but their presence was undeniable. The figure raised a hand, and Brenda saw a glint of metal, a small ornate key. The image vanished, replaced by a statue. Brenda stumbled back, her mind struggling to process what she had seen. The key, the figure, it was all connected. This wasn't about her memory loss, it was about something far more significant, something she was meant to remember, something she was meant to protect. The train began to slow, the rhythmic rumble diminishing. It pulled into a station, the platform bathed in an eerie green light, the door hissed open. Hesitantly, Brenda stepped onto the platform. The air was thick and damp, earthy smell. The station was deserted, save for a single figure standing in the shadows. He was tall and slender, his face partially obscured by the brim of a fedora. He held a silver cane, its handle shaped like a raven's head.
"Brenda,"
He said, his voice a low, resonant murmur.
"it's good to see you."
Brenda felt a jolt of recognition, a flicker of familiarity that sent a shiver down her spine.
Who are you?
She asked, her voice trembling.
"Let's just say I'm here to help you remember.
He gestured with his cane.
They're coming for you, you know. They don't want you to remember."
Who are they? He smiled, a sad, knowing smile.
"They are the guardians of the Obsidian Echo. They believe you possess something they want, something you don't even know you have."
The Obsidian Echo? What is that?
It's a repository of forgotten knowledge, a record of events that have tried to erase from history. And you, Brenda, are its key.
He extended his hands.
Come with me. There is no time to explain. They're already closing in.
Brenda hesitated. Everything about this felt surreal, dangerous. But she had no other choice. She took his hand, and he led her to the labyrinthine corridors of the deserted station. As they walked, she caught glimpses of shadowy figures lurking in the darkness, their faces obscure, their intentions unclear. She felt a growing sense of dread, a certainty that she was caught in a game, far more complex and perilous than she could have possibly imagined. The silver locket warmed against her skin, a silent reassurance in the encroaching darkness. She knew, instinctively, that the man with the raven cane was telling her the truth. She was the key to something important, something dangerous, and she was about to unlock a past she had no memory of. A past that could very well cost her everything. The Obsidian Echo was calling, and Brenda Vance was about to answer. But she had a chilling premonition that the truth she uncovered would be far more terrifying than an amnesia she was desperately trying
to escape.